Hey everybody, Daniel here. What I'm going to talk about in this video is the third step of the German grip AB motion. I know it's a lot to stomach, but so far what we've done is we've just tried to understand this rotational motion of the arm in working on the German grip. And the first thing we did was just understand how we could do this with relative ease, and then we could translate that into this move, and how you can see that the bicep is still turning, or you view the forearm, you can move that, that's still turning. Remember, you're rotating outward with the bicep and inward, thinking of it as a wind up and an unwind. And that unwind, if we make that a little more forceful, causes the hand to come down and strike. The next step is to think about the same motion, but now if we think about that deep release, we allow that to fall as we wind. Now the hand is forward and it just hangs. So wind and unwind. See, I'm still turning my forearm, or sorry, my bicep. And this now is as if there's a stick or a wall pushing us up. This hangs over, okay? And then we strike the drum. Remember, this is unwinding as well, right? So we get these all working together. We notice that this goes up and down a vertical axis. The elbow moves along a horizontal axis, right? Elbow moves horizontally as we do this. And of course, the idea was to get these to just start to work on their own without us having to do the wind or unwind or to push this out or any of that. Okay, so now we're going to add the sticks to that. The motion is not going to change at all, but you're probably going to find that as you try this, it's going to feel weird and awkward and ungainly. But just remember what you're doing, and I would say start simply with the stick, in most people's cases, in the right hand, mirroring me. This is my left hand. Again, place your hand on your bicep, and what's going to happen now is we wind out, and as that forearm comes up, it goes into, as the forearm comes up, the wrist drops into that deep release. So here's the wind and unwind, and as we come down, we simply lift. So this is the A motion. It's just this, right? We've already worked on that. That's the deep release. And the B motion of our AB is this. Arm, wind, unwind. Hand comes up and down. Elbow moves side to side. Okay? So the overall AB motion in the German grip now looks like this. We're in our neutral position. We start here and we wind up and unwind. Wind up and unwind. And what I want you to think about is, again, a baseball pitcher. So if a baseball pitcher winds up to throw a pitch, the wind up is very easy and relaxed. It's not until, whoom, they throw that pitch and release that ball that the energy comes. Okay, if you think about a golfer winding up to swing, it's a very relaxed wind up, very easy. Then, whoom, So tennis, serve, there's a million sports metaphors and other kinds of things that we can use to describe this motion. But it's the same idea. The wind is easy. It's not, so this is not what I want you to do. Wind, unwind. Wind, unwind. The power you're going to use is in the unwind. The wind up is just a setup to get the hand to come up, and then the unwind. Now, one last point here. Why do I want you to not strike the drum in the AB motion and rather begin and end at the same place, which is the neutral position? Well, when we eventually do get to striking, we're going to want the hinge to rebound because we're playing a stroke. So if you remember, go back to the throw-up exercise. We played a series of strokes where we threw the stick and let it bounce into the hinge. Wind, unwind, wind, unwind. So now this wind, unwind is creating a single stroke, but a stroke is a stroke is a stroke. So the idea is the exact same thing must happen. We set up, and we strike, I should say, and the stick rebounds exactly the same way that it did in the throw-up exercise. So therefore, when we're practicing this without striking, what we want to think about is hand coming down, but wrist coming up at the same time. And this weds the two motions, the A and the B, together. And the goal is that every time you come up and wind, you want this to fall. Every time, and for the forearm to come up. Every time this comes down, you want to feel the unwind, the turn of the bicep. You see that my bicep is still turning, how my forearm is still turning, how my wrist is coming up. So we're getting all of these mechanisms to work together to produce a beautiful, easy wind up, and then boom, that's where the force happens on the unwind, hand comes down. Once we get these motions in the arm to be working together, just this, how everything naturally works together without stick in the hand, we can sort of manipulate them to work together in this new particular way, we will be able to generate a stroke in the German grip. Dig it.